Lights, camera, action, people. Deluded, I'm back again. Happy Friday, folks. Big up yourselves, whether you're on Twitch. Make sure you're subscribing with Amazon Prime. YouTube, please smash the like button. Let's make the YouTube algorithm finally start putting us into new faces. I've got good retention rate for those that watch me for the first time and they seem to stick here. But I need your help if we're going to get to 70. It needs to go out to different audiences. So if you haven't hit the subscribe button, make sure you're doing such. Smash the like button. It's free. Now it's the international break. Later, we will be doing a watch along for England, people. I'm sure you all saw yesterday in the 92nd minute, Calafiori picked up an injury. Is it the boots? Is he injury prone? Do we need to stop buying defenders from Italy or based in the Italian division? Because Tomiyasu, ironically, is one. And we go into side note, in the summer, we wouldn't be Arsenal without goalies and left backs under Mikel Arteta. So we're going to have to do that. And unfortunately, we love an injury-prone. During the Emirates era, we seem to love injury-prone fullbacks, or definitely in the last couple of years. I say that slightly. You know, I'd love to keep Tierney. We all know he's going, but he's an injury issue in itself. Calafiori shown that, you know, maybe it's his first season, the intensity, the Prem. Maybe he's just injury-prone. I don't know. Tomiyasu's the same. Zinni picks up knocks. So, yeah, man, it's annoying, especially because in this current realm where we have to play Fulham and Brentford and this one and that one, the one fixture we find ourselves continuously speaking and waffling about undoubtedly is the Real Madrid game. Now, we can cry about left wingers and strikers and this one and that one and the third. Reality is, for whatever reason, Calafiori is one of our best attacking options. So to not have him in the squad potentially at this moment in time is quite scary. Now, we have to wait for the physios to come out and do these things. And, you know, naturally with an injury, you have to wait for the scans and every day is going to tell something new. But unfortunately, it's on brand with Arsenal, and definitely where this horrible script of injuries this year has been concerned, and definitely where the international break's been concerned. So yeah, let me know your thoughts and such. Run up the likes if you haven't. Peckham, big up yourself. Ricardo's legs might be made of calamari. The slander names are crazy. There was one, they call him Central C, but it wasn't Central Slip. There was a slander name going around on social media. It's quite sad, man. Like, I got time for Calafiori. Of all the signings we made in the last summer period, I do think Calafiori's got potential. That being said, I think there's minor things that you can improve defensively that would make the major impact. I've said it before. I think you need to go on a defensive crash course, a serious intensive course. You need to know when to stop crosses, how to look over your shoulder, when to jockey, all of that kind of stuff, people. The middle and the final third, whether it's as a traditional left back, whether it's as an inverted one, your mentality, you've got all of that stuff on lock. And I'm going to persist with Calafiori, but unfortunately, for as much as I might be able to praise you and a lot of players in this squad, and generally throughout our times fighting for a league, the best trait you could have is availability. Now, we know we need to improve the starting 11. We know we need to improve the depth, and we could have done all of these things in the summer and January and still had these things in which I would have said fair enough. But you know, I think the club needs to learn from the last 3 years. Last season was relatively injury-free. We still missed Timber, Tomiyasu, and obviously Partey. The year before that, 2022-23, relatively injury-free. But we saw what happens when one key man in Saliba gets injured. We was differing with Rob Holding. You get what you pay for in that regard. We took a while to introduce Kivior, rightly or wrongly. We all know how that season panned out. This season, who's been ever present, you know? So obviously people get injured. This is the nature of the business. Players pick up injuries and whatnot of that ilk. But yeah, man, you know, Saka's had knocks, Jesus, Kai Havertz, everybody's had injuries. Timber, obviously, he's had a couple coming back from an ACL and he's been relatively injury-free. Gabriel Magalhaes, like Timber, are probably the two with the strongest case to be our player of the season. You throw in Lewis Skelly, who we hope makes his debut, and Pardon me, yeah, injuries are always going to happen, but we need to make sure we're putting our best foot forward where injuries are concerned at this football club, and we haven't done that where depth is concerned. People, man, like we've got to be brutally honest with ourselves. We unfortunately, for whatever reason, haven't done that. Big up you lot. Please make sure you're smashing the like button. Any talking points, get them in. 1 second, because it seems like Twitch is frozen. Let's go back to the YouTube tab. Again, happy birthday to Nwaneri. He turns 18 today, and you know you're playing for Arsenal week in, week out. You're relishing your dreams of being a professional footballer. I think you should be in the England full national squad, but the under-21 still shows progression. And you know where Lewis Skelly and Nwaneri are concerned, you know, give or take 17 and 18-year-olds, or both 18 to now. At least now Nwaneri can be in the change room, obviously safeguarding issues throughout all of these games. I don't know if the laws are different or the same in the Champions League, but obviously he's had to get changed away from his colleagues, so at least he can be in the change rooms, and he can finally buy alcohol now, people. He can finally buy some Rizla. Like, it just makes you think, like, look, comparison is the thief of joy, as we know, but like these lot are 18, like spoken about in glowing terms, playing professional football, which I'm sure was everybody's dream. Makes you wonder, what the hell was I doing with my life at 18 years of age, man? But yeah, big up Nwaneri. And like clockwork, you'd imagine what would have been the case. You know, I'd be shocked if Nwaneri and Lewis Skelly do not get new contracts. Obviously, with Lewis Skelly, with Nwaneri, it makes sense to wait till he's 18. As you lot all know, when you're 17 years of age, you can sign a maximum of 3 years. When you're 18, you can sign 5. And if you're Arsenal, you're trying to get him confirmed to a 5-year deal. Honestly, if I'm Nwaneri, I'm taking a leaf out of Saka's book, because every 12 to 18 months, have you not noticed? We're talking about Saka new deals. And I think that's how you play the game. You sign a 3-year deal, maybe with an option of a 4th. You start to get, once you get halfway through that contract, the new rumors start to begin. Provided, like you see with Saka, you keep doing your job and developing, you get your money. At the end of the day, man, like Nwaneri, Lewis Skelly, Saka, Gabriel, Saliba, all of these guys, I'm sure they're nice lads, but you're not here because you're a nice lad. You're here, and this goes for all the clubs, you know, Liverpool, where Trent's concerned, and all them players. You're here because you're good footballers. And there will be a point where you might be 32 and you want a 2-year deal. The club's only prepared to give you a 1 year, so you're going to leave. The football career is short. I always say, with the riches of this game, with TV rights and rising season ticket costs and all of these things, if anyone deserves the money in football, it's the players. Because if every player across every division in every country sat here and said, we're not playing football anymore, I don't know what we'd talk about in our live streams, and I don't know what we'd watch, people. Or it'd be like the international break. In fact, it'd be worse. But apparently, Nwaneri is closing in on a new 5-year contract at Arsenal as the Gunners look to fend off interest from 2 Premier League rivals in the Wonder Kid following a breakthrough season. This week, he was actually linked with Paris Saint-Germain and Real Madrid. And we all know he was linked with a move away before he actually made his debut against Brentford a few years ago, man. And to see him make his debut against Brentford, to see him obviously play against West Ham, to see him score screamers every week, what he's doing in the Champions League, you know, Nwaneri's manager has spoken about he could be a long-term striker. I think with a lot of work, you might be able to play in that right centre mid/10 role Odegaard plays. I think you're doing quite well in Saka's position, and you could make a meal of that. And he's doing his thing, man. Like, he's doing his thing, man. Happy birthday to the young boy, Ethan. Happy birthday to me and Ronaldinho, some top ballers born today. Happy birthday on behalf of myself and everybody in the chat to you, Mike. Hope you're having a great day, man. And yeah, man, boy, you know what? You're doing it when you know, it's probably written in the stars that Nwaneri's going to be a footballer, born on the same day as my favorite ever player, Ronaldinho. That's lit. Crazy. And you're born in that as well. I think, to be fair, the former Manchester United player Anderson's born on my birthday, 13th of April, and so is Carlos Puyol. So I've got 2 ballers. Wait, you can buy alcohol at 18 in the UK. That's crazy. I keep forgetting, Marcel, you're in America. It's 21 over there, right? Yeah, you can. Yeah, well, to be fair, I was buying alcohol from 16, depending on how cool you are with Bossman and whatnot. But yeah, 18. I think once you turn 18 in this country, there's not much you can't do. Of course, there's some clubs or some events that say 21 plus, 25 plus, over 30s, but that's a rarity. Once you turn 18, can get everything really, really and truly. I think prior to that, it's 17 to get your provisional / you can technically get your license. I'm sure I got my license when I just turned 18, like a week or so after I turned 18. So you can start with 17. I don't think there's anything in the United Kingdom you can't really do once you turn 18, which is crazy because on paper you're an adult, but we all know at 18 years of age you're far from an adult. You know, look at all of us in the chat. all of us in the chat, I'm sure certain things and mindsets and ways of conducting yourself and what you thought about life at 18 years of age is dramatically different, man. DG, your late brother paid a fine waffling away over there with Potts. Shout out Dan Potts and shout out yourself. I saw you in the chat, but I weren't late. Get out of here, man. Get out of here, man. Arsenal are closing in on a new long-term contract for wonder kid Ethan Nwaneri to reward his continued rapid rise. Mel Sport understands that the proposed deal is up to 5 years in length. For me, I'm trying to sign 3 years, maybe with an option of 1. If I'm the club, I'm pushing for 5 years. The attacker, who is one of Arsenal's most promising prospects, has scored 8 goals in 29 appearances this season as he stepped up on the right wing to fill a gap left by Bukayo Saka's hamstring injury. What would be his best goal? I would say Girona's a screamer. Naturally, I guess for him, his first special goal was his first one, innit? But he scored a screamer against Girona, scored an absolute peach of a goal against Man City, which would be the best one for me. Couple of very good finishes in the League Cup initially in the season. But yeah, I know I used to say I think Trossard's the best finisher at the club. But do you know what? It's probably him. Like, I'm sure against Bolton, he scored a screamer. Scored a screamer against Bolton, scored a screamer against City, scored a screamer against Girona. And they all count the same minute. And I like the fact that he's trigger happy. I hope that doesn't get coached out of him. I still think there's a lot to learn. And naturally, there's a lot he has to introduce to his game. But this is all natural. At 18 years of age today, Nwaneri and Lewis Skelly, you've been 2 of our most consistent players. You know, the wickedest thing is going into almost every game this season, much less Real Madrid. Obviously, they're young, and I'm not saying they're going to make the difference. But naturally, I think a lot of our fans have a lot more faith in Nwaneri and Lewis Skelly than some of their more significantly experienced teammates, which says it all, man. And if there was one kind of bright spark about another missed opportunity of a season, it would be Lewis Skelly and Nwaneri. Like, God knows how much they've saved us, and their prices are rising, essentially, man. You know, I think long-term, for me, I'd expect to see Nwaneri in Odegaard's position, and I can't wait to see Saka and Nwaneri's link-up play. I think Lewis Skelly could have a big future at fullback. And if he wasn't playing at fullback, considering the fact that he made his debut in September, you wouldn't be in the English squad. You wouldn't be playing like this. But that lad reminds me of the former Fulham player, Moussa Dembele. He could play as a 6. Not quite sure of Lewis Skelly in the 8, but let's just say midfield. Midfield, left wing. Nwaneri can play all about the place. They're consistent. They're clearly intelligent tactically, what the gaffer's telling them. There's nothing I can say to give them more praise, really and truly. But Nwaneri previously signed his first pro deal with the Gunners last year, age 17, the youngest eligible age to sign such terms, which is 3 years in length, as we said. He turned 18 today, and the North London club are looking to go a step further to secure his long-term future, with Nwaneri's quick progression this season having surpassed the expectations of Arsenal staff. Now, I'm a big fan of and believe in, big up Karma in the Cup, my mods. Good afternoon, right back at you, and tap the like button. I'm a firm believer in cream always rises to the top in it, whether you'll always make it if you're good enough. But I do think one thing that has helped Lewis Skelly and Nwaneri has been injuries, more so Nwaneri. It would have taken a while for you to be playing on a consistent basis, which is great because we know you're young. But now you're in that bracket where you're a genuine option. Like when we're humoring ourselves now or in the summer and talking about our depth and who's going to play where, you're involved in that conversation. So keep it going. Chelsea and City, one of them can't blame them. You know, he's better than Phil Foden. He actually turns up when our team needs him, unlike Phil Foden. Chelsea got more money than sense. And to be honest, he probably starts for Chelsea on the right-hand side. This is just upsetting me, man. I still remember that game, you know, doing a watch along with you lot, and we battered Palace, but we all knew that Saka injury was mad. But yeah, big up Nwaneri, if I'm honest. He's currently away with the under-21s for friendlies against France and Portugal. He made his debut in September 2022 against Brentford at 15 years of age and 181 days. He's become the youngest player to appear in the top flight of English football. Careful, you know, they were criticising Mikel Arteta and Goal for actually giving him his debut, which, don't get it twisted, I do think a bit of that was his ability and the need to want to do it, and him being on the bench and the gaffer can do whatever he wants. But I also feel a bit of that was naturally, stay at the football club. There's a pathway here. And I wonder if we do that with Max Dallman when the time comes. He then continued to impress at youth level before becoming a permanent member of the first team squad this year. You know what the maddest thing is? I don't know how it would work for Lewis Skelly, but where Nwaneri is concerned, you could have actually played in the FA Youth Cup for us. So yeah, big him up. Contract negotiations are high on the agenda at Arsenal right now, with the Mail Sport reporting earlier this week that the club are set to open talks with Saka over a new deal. He's one of 3 key players whose contract is set to expire in 2027, which ironically, when the Sakas, the Salibas, the Gabriels, I'm sure give or take Benjamin White and couple other Martinelli, couple other players signed new deals. It felt like we was turning a corner where we're being proactive with that. And it feels like that was just the other day. Now we've got a real big test on our hands. Are we able to keep all three? Especially, rightly so. Saliba deserves to be on big money or one of the top earners, if not the top earner at the club. Saka's the poster boy and he's an attacker. You don't want to lose him. He's probably the one out of the three I think we actually keep. And then I said Gabriel Magalhaes as well. It'll be interesting. You look at Magalhaes, obviously he's not, I think Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes individually, they're two of the best centre-backs in the Prem and in world football. As a partnership, they're also in the same ilk. And I don't see Gabriel Magalhaes linked with bigger clubs, but he has been linked with PSG before. He has been linked with Real Madrid tentatively. Saliba's the poster boy. Surely it's easier to tempt him because he's 27. I might not get that opportunity. I want to keep all three, but they're all going to have to be on big money. You also got Kai Havertz, and I'm not doing the scapegoating thing. The reality is he's on over 200 odd grand a week. Gabriel Jesus, you're not flogging him at least until the summer of 2026, in my opinion. We're not getting Isaac, but just to humor me with this example, if you bring Isaac in, he's on like 200 odd grand. Nico Williams at Bilbao is already on 200 odd grand. So we're going to have to collaborate our wage structure and really decide what we're doing. Obviously, Tierney's on 100k. He's gone. Partey on paper's gone. Trossard and Zinchenko got a year left. They're potentially gone. Fabio Vieira and Kivio are going to be two real tough acts to sell. And they're not the highest earners, but every little helps. So it'd be interesting to see what Arsenal and Berta do in terms of incomings and outgoings, but we need to get things sorted. I think of the three big ones, I think we're more likely to keep Saka because he's homegrown and all that kind of stuff. Saliba, I don't think you want to leave as much as the reports make out, but at the end of the day, you are the most vocal about, I want to win stuff at Arsenal so I can be remembered by the fans, but I want to be the best centre-back in the world, and I obviously need to win trophies. And I don't think the players are not convinced I think we're past this project stuff, but I still think they're convinced with the project and whatnot. But surely they're at this point now. And obviously they're the ones playing, but naturally, remember Declan Rice in the summer sat there and said, like, I'm sure the gaffer wants to sign players. Saka said something similar. Just being devil's advocate, if you're sitting there, are you in a rush to sign a new deal? Because I do think the club needs to be replenished. I think when you initially reintegrated Saliba, got Gabriel, got Saka, to go with Arteta and us broadly as a football club, we're trying to get back into being in serious conversations, ironically playing Real Madrid, winning trophies, and these players weren't established, so they could buy into that. Now they're all fairly established. Now it's a bit different because Saliba and Saka are 23 and Gabriel's 27, but it's very like they could go and play for top European clubs. I do think, they're probably thinking, why didn't we sign anyone in January? Did we really have the summer period? I think they're going to be looking at it. And logically speaking, if you're Saka, Gabriel, Magalhaes, and Saliba, you don't need to be in a rush to sign a new deal. The club wants to keep you. There's interest in you. In Saliba's case, Real Madrid might try to get you this year. Next year, if you run down your deal and you have a year left in the summer, we've got a decision to make, and it's a World Cup year. You got all them French boys there. Or you could run down your deal, what you're seeing them do with Alaba and Trent Alexander-Arnold potentially and Mbappe. It all depends, man. But if I was one of these players, I wouldn't be in a rush. I would want to see what the club's going to do to really kick on now, because it's got to be mentally exhausting now. 3 years, whatever way you shape it, we're finished second, or it's not even set in stone. We're going to finish second right now, but we're behind the pack. So we'll have to see. And naturally, if it's easier said than done, but where Saliba's concerned, even if he was to stay 2-3 years and we win bare trophies, in the back of our mind, we know he's going to Real Madrid. So we need to be, I'm not even saying necessarily sign a defender right now, but knowing what you're going to do. Gabriel Magalhaes is 27. You lot know me. I'm not one of them fans. He's 27. Once people hear 27 and all of these kind of ages, people start thinking, oh my God, he's 45. But you need to think about what you're doing. And I'm not one to waffle about centre-backs, innit? I don't really care if you're a left-footed centre-back or a right-footed centre-back or whatever, but there's a niche that he is a left-footer. We're linked with Joao Hato. Calafiori can play there. They're obviously young, raw, and unseasoned. And look at this guy, man. Gabriel's 27 already, and he ain't won jack yet. Did he not win the FA Cup here? Wasn't he one of Arteta's first signings? I'm sure Gabriel Magalhaes won the FA Cup. And he won the English Super Cup, mate. Get the hell out of here. You know what? Where Gabriel's concerned, I'm sure he wants to win stuff in England and in Europe, whether it's at Arsenal or elsewhere. You can do a thing in the top level of professional football. But I can't begrudge you if You know, I think Arsenal have a serious conversation, whether it's good or bad, if you get offered 60, 70, 80, 90, even 100 million for Gabriel Magalhaes at this moment. Nor could I begrudge him for wanting to go get paid in Saudi. So it'd be interesting. And even that, he's now established himself in the Brazil shouts. You know, I can't believe Lisandro Martinez and Christian Romero were linked, were even mentioned in the same sentence as Gabriel Magalhaes. And the thing that used to annoy me the most is they used to compare him to Bremer of Juventus. Like, he's better than him. What's the Saliba one? Was you here when we won the FA Cup? Nah, you won the Community Shield. Well, he's won more trophies in Zagreb, to be fair. Yeah, go away, Marcel, man. You're going to be joining us, man. Yeah, he did it. Marcel, do you take a day off? What is the time in America? It is 2:30 here, yeah. So let me go on my clock, because for some reason I've got New York time. Let me go on my world clock. It's 10:30 a.m. You know what? You're dedicated to hating. I'll give you that. Have you even brushed your teeth and had dinner yet? Breakfast yet? Have you even put on your laptop and answered your work emails? Go away, mate. It's all love. Well, go on, DG. What is this I'm hearing about? Calafiori, oh, come on. First Saka goal back from injury is going to hit different. Big Gabby is a Brazilian gangster with flair. He's arguably my player this season. Who upset Marcel? It's all banter. He comes in here, ruffles up a few feathers. He's part of the family, man. He's a crackhead, but he's the crackhead of the channel, man. And everyone's got a nitty uncle in it. I don't know who upset him, man. Maybe it's, I don't know. To be fair, I'm surprised he hasn't mentioned Saliba, because Saliba and Kanate didn't have the best games yesterday, did they? Happy Friday, right back at you, Stevie, man. My family's doing well. I'm doing well. I hope you and everyone else tuned in is. Big up yourself, DG. Love for that. We need Saka to sign one of them 9-year contracts like Haaland. We do, man, but we don't operate like that. And I guess as a football club, yeah, self-financing and, you know, in isolation, I like how the Cronkies kind of move in that, you know, making sure we're not doing too much. But surely we're going to have to decide what we want to do, because if you want to be a big club, you're going to have to pay wages. And I don't know if it's even possible to keep all three. And Liverpool, with what's going on at Liverpool, could serve as a reminder. But if we assume Saliba, Saka, Gabriel Magalhaes, not that you watch me, but I'm sorry for forgetting you stay here. If they sign big money on 200 grand a week, you've got Kai Havertz, you've got Jesus. Again, for the example, you get Isaac, who's going to be on 200 odd grand. Nico Williams is going to be on 200 odd grand. If you get Zubamendi, he's probably going to give or take be on 100 odd K. You still got to give Nwaneri and Ethan new deals. So our overheads are getting more and whatnot, people. And that's excluding anyone else that gets brought into the club or needs renewals. My hot take is, I know we're not under any pressure in terms to renew his deal at the moment, but I'll be surprised if I think Declan Rice, but less so much Declan Rice and more so Juri and Timber. I'll be surprised if Timber doesn't sign improved terms within the next year as well. Now, for obvious reasons, the three big boys, Nwaneri, Lewis Skelly, incomings, I'm sure Martinelli, what we're doing with Zinchenko and Trossard are probably more pressing matters for Arsenal Football Club. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see exactly what's happening in that regard. So that's that. You look at when Nwaneri's turned 18 and he holds bare records, man. Most Arsenal goals before turning 18, bro, he's up there with 8. Look at him, man. Like, anytime you're going to be with these Arsenal legends, you're doing something well, man. And it feels like just the other day, we saw you make your debut against Brentford, and to see you more confident. Big up Haaland and big up yourself, man. Like, big him up, man. He firmly is living the dream. He firmly is living the dream. And if there's ever been a low point for me with Nwaneri, it ironically was when he got injured against Brighton. That little period, like, he was really starting. He still is, obviously, but he was really starting to smash the like button. Is what you lot need to do. He was really starting to show his quality. But yeah, man, it is what it is. Apparently, only Michael Owen and Wayne Rooney have scored the most competitive goals for a Premier League club before turning 18. Now, he's got a long way to go before he can be mentioned in the same realm as Michael Owen. I think Michael Owen's a bit of an idiot off the field, so people forget how much of a bully he was. Wayne Rooney's a legend, but they both are. You've got a long way to go before you're mentioning them kind of realms there. But at 17, 18 years of age, if you're getting some statistics near these guys, you're doing all right, man. Look at their names there. But, I mean, I feel like this name rings a bell, you know. 29, maybe a bit before my time, but let's see. You ring a bell. Where have you been? Leeds. That's why you ring a bell, man. That's why you ring a bell. That's where you ring a bell. Definitely before my time, Danny Kadamati. You know me, I can't cap. How old are you? 45. Fair enough. Big up yourself, man. But man, don't remember your thing, but yeah, the Wayne Rooney's, the Cesc Fabregas's, the James Milner's, the Wayne Rooney's, the Michael Owens. What a goal it was. Yeah, he's a good goal against Piet. That was a good finish as well. It's not going to be in the highlights, but The way he struck the ball, he's a very good striker of a ball, man. Youngest scorers of a Champions League knockout stage goal. He's up there with Brojan, Bellingham, Musiala, Mbappe, Nwaneri. He's also there, so he's doing all right. Big up Brojan, but you more want him to follow the trajectories of Mbappe, Musiala, and Bellingham than Brojan, who, ended up at Stoke, innit? Really, you never know. Now, I'm sure you've all seen it already. Calafiori doing the stanky leg. Is it the boots, people? Seriously, is it the boots? Because I remember a similar little thing like this when he was playing for Arsenal. Is it the boots? Because you keep slipping off the ball. I got time for Calafiori, but I'm nervous, man. Whenever you're going off and playing for these teams, well, playing for Italy, Calafiori, I'm nervous, man. Please don't have a long-term injury, man. But yeah, that don't look good, especially for me, generally, people. And let's pause this. Generally, I feel, and no two injuries are the same, but I feel whenever a player gets injured off the ball and it's not really contact, beyond the obvious, like if someone gets a broken leg, I am a bit more scared, if I'm completely honest, when it happens off the ball, like in Calafiori's case. So let's see what's going on. Arsenal face nervous weight over Ricardo Calafiori injury as shock during Timber absence explained. Calafiori is set for tests on Friday to determine the severity of a knee issue suffered while playing for Italy. Arsenal face an anxious wait to learn the extent of a knee injury suffered by Calafiori on Italy duty, while fellow Gunners defender Timber was a surprise absentee from the Netherlands squad to face Spain. Timber is considered a regular for his country when fit and will have been expected to play in Thursday night's quarter-final first leg tie at the De Kuip in Rotterdam. Forgive me. Timber was a shock admission when Ronald Koeman's team for the heavyweight last 8 fixture was named, with Virgil van Dijk joined in defence by Brighton's Joan-Paul Van Hecke. Do you know what? Yeah, I've said this before. You see this Van Hecke done, with the greatest of respect to Brighton. I'm surprised you're not playing for a traditional top 6 Premier League team. I think he's really slept on. Hatto obviously played. Hatto had a stinker, but he's 19. I'm having Hatto. We'd have to take time, but he's got 100 appearances for Ajax. Obviously, he's captained them. Been playing as a left back this season more so than centre half. Bring him, man. Bring him. Apparently, Arsenal fans will be relieved to discover that his absence from the squad was not injury-related on a night when Calafiori was hurt playing for Italy in their own Nations League quarter-final opener against Germany and Milan. Explaining Timber's omission against Spain, the official Netherlands team account wrote on the social media platform, Timber is not available to play tonight due to illness. Now, I do think in football, when I hear teams say illness, that just seems like you're not really injured. There might be a bit of, fatigue in the legs or you might have picked a minor knock-up. He could have diarrhea, which I hope it's diarrhea, nothing serious, really. Timber, we need you, mate. I don't know who I'd give player of the season to. I think if I had to rank them, I'd still, in no order, I would say Lewis Skelly, Timber, and Gabriel Magalhaes. I think Partey be in the top 5. So yeah, man, Timber, we definitely we got Real. Well, we need to be thinking about Fulham, but where we got Fulham in no order: Fulham, 2-legged tie against Real Madrid, Brentford to come, Bournemouth to come, Anfield, like whatever there is to play or not play for the season. Our squad is down to its bare bones, so we need to wrap people up in cotton wool, and it's a bit annoying in that we're hearing Saka could be back, whether we want him to or believe that's the right thing. Martinelli's come back, couple more men are injured. I just hope Berta. I say Berta because you're not involved, but Berta, I hope you preach the need to have squad depth, man. So I have to see, man. Obviously, he could play on Sunday against Spain in Valencia. We'll have to see, really, really and truly. Nico Williams also scored for Spain, people. Arsenal will be much more concerned about Calafiori, who was forced off late for Italy after suffering an injury during a painful-looking slip in the 2-1 loss to Germany when he quickly attempted to change direction and saw his left knee buckle underneath. You get studs, not molds, man. And it was in the 92nd minute. That's our luck. Like, the game's played, and now you pick up a knock. It's jarring, man. He's expected to undergo tests on Friday to determine the extent of the issue, per Fabrizio Romano, after being seen limping on his exit from the San Siro and replying, I still don't know, when asked by reporters how his knee was doing. Quizzed on Calafiori's injury in his post-match press conference, the Italy coach Luciano Spalletti, whose side contest the second leg in Dortmund on Sunday, we don't know yet. He said his knee feels strange, but cannot answer more precisely than that. So we'll have to see. Unfortunately, his stud slipped as he went to cut out a pass. Arsenal's early exit from this season's FA Cup means they are not involved in a quarter-final weekend immediately following the current international break and don't play until the 1st against Fulham. So that could be a blessing. But if Arsenal are to be in the realm that I'm sure myself and you lot want, in that we're definitely not 12, 13, 14, 15 points off Liverpool in every Premier League game, even with the fixtures to come are all to play for. We definitely hope to still be in the FA Cup. We definitely would have hoped to have been in that final against Liverpool or Newcastle on Sunday and won that. And the Champions League, we need a bigger squad. Like this season, last season, you could say it. The season before, we only had Saliba's injury, but that was significant. We need upgrades to our starting 11, and we need greater depth. And we probably, maybe there's something with the recruitment because we seem to pick a lot of brittle players, man. We more covered Calafiori's injuries and all of that in the last stream I did earlier this morning, people. So make sure you check that out after this. So yeah, man. He said, I don't know, guys. I don't know when asked. There are unofficial concerns that the Arsenal defender may have damaged his knee during the incident at the end of Germany's loss. And even going into next season, not Timber. Tomiyasu's out until December. Gabriel Jesus the same. They could be back before, they could be back after. Kai Havertz is already going to start next season on the back foot. We hope it's a bit more positive, but he will be back for the start of next season, but he's nursing a hamstring knot. So already, without talking about who's staying and who's going and whatever, already we need to be thinking about next season as well. There are unofficial concerns that he may have suffered an injury, which isn't good. Hopefully the tests are all right. The extent of the damage is set to become more clear in the next few hours when Calafiori goes in for medical tests with the Italian national team. The former Bologna centre-back has not left the Italian national team setup and will be seen by national team doctors initially rather than those from his domestic club. Mikel Arteta, Kroenke, whoever, fly our doctors out to Italy. I'm sure they will collab with their Italian counterparts, but we need to be getting our own information, if I'm completely honest with you. I don't know if this physio scout guy is right or wrong, but it could be interesting. Calafiori had to hobble off late in the second half with a knee injury. Body weight over the left knee, stressing the medial side of the knee brings concern for an MCL injury mainly. There are some concerns for just a contusion/bone bruise injury, and there's an extremely small chance it's an ACL injury, which he's had before, but will still need to be cleared. Potential recovery times, if it's a bone bruise/contusion, it's less than a week. If it's an MCL grade 1, it's 1 to 3 weeks. If it's an MCL grade 2, it's 3 to 6 weeks. So it don't look good. He got up and tried to play on, but was unable to after a short while. Scans will be necessary to determine the extent of the injury. So we'll have to see in that regard. So everybody is saying the same thing where that is concerned. Boy, we'll be sweating over that indeed. Apparently, people, it was just a week before Saka injured his hamstring in December that Mikel Arteta floated the idea of moving the winger into a more central position. Okay, that's great. I think that will depend a lot on the qualities and the players who are around him. For someone to be inside instead of outside, someone has to be outside, and that player, that fullback, that attacking midfielder and number 9 has to allow that space. But I'm certainly very open to evolving players. Sometimes it's the role, sometimes it's the position on the pitch, and sometimes there are other things we can do so that he can spend more time in this position. Because when the ball is far from the opposition side, we choose where we want him, but we're certainly thinking about these things. That's great, but what does that mean for Saka's potential return against Fulham or Real Madrid? Where is the things that matter? This is great. Big up Nwaneri. We know Saka's versatile. We know he can play on the left-hand side. We know we've seen him play in the 8. What does this mean? This ain't saying nothing, man. Like, you're just chatting nonsense. Now, Nico Williams is always linked with Arsenal Football Club on the best of days. Apparently, CF Bayern and Sky Sports Germany is saying it's not true that Bayern are in the lead for Nico Williams. I think at the moment, Williams is closer to a move to Arsenal than Bayern Munich. Now, where you look at Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Manchester United, Arsenal Football Club, and half of the teams linked with Nico Williams, everybody's looking for wingers. And you look at Bayern Munich, the only winger I would say as a non-Bayern fan that there's confirmation over his future is Elise. He's doing bloody well. They're trying to move on Gnabry. They're trying to get rid of Kingsley Coleman. We have been linked with Sane on a free transfer as well. So, yeah. I mean, if Nico Williams is the one, go and get it done, man. Arsenal are understood to be ahead of Bayern Munich in the race to sign Nico Williams this summer. What does that mean, though? Because are we the head of Bayern Munich, but someone's ahead of us? Does he want to stay at Bilbao for one more year? Does he want to stay at Bilbao because he believes that? Or Barca saying they're going to get him not this summer, but next summer? It's a World Cup year heading into next season. Does he want to stay because of that? Does he want to try Germany? Does he want to kind of join the Spanish revolution at Arsenal? Who knows? Until people are holding shirts and they grew up watching Omri and Bergkamp and Perez and the rest of it, who knows, people? But we're understood to be ahead of Bayern. The Gunners are in need of a refresh in their offensive line in light of the 2024-25 campaign. characterized by injuries and a golfing goals between Mikel Arteta's men and Liverpool. The North London-based outfit finds itself in second place in the Premier League, 12 points behind the Reds and 16 goals short, with 53 of their competitors 69. Obviously, Mo Salah and whatnot, and we've had Saka injured, but it's irrelevant. We've also missed Kai. Kai would have probably got some goals as well. We need a striker. We need a left winger. We need quality additions to our starting 11. We need more bodies. Mikel Arteta for the last 2 years actually has said we've got one of the smallest squads. I'm past the point of blaming Edu, Mikel Arteta, Kroenkes, Berta, Jason Ito, this one, that one. You're all in it together. Sort it out, innit? Because I feel like we keep talking about the same things season in, season out. It's getting boring, man. To that end, an upgrade in the form of long-term target Nico Williams appears more plausible in the next transfer window. Arsenal may very well find themselves competing with Bundesliga giants Bayern Munich for Williams' signature this summer. The good news, however, as far as the Emirates Stadium dwelling side is concerned, is that they have a head start over their European rivals. I mean, Sesko and Williams would be on brand. The Bavarian giants will have to arrange some player sales to facilitate any potential move for the Athletic Bilbao winger. It's not true that Bayern Munich are ahead in the race for Nico Williams. I think at the moment, Williams is closer to a move to Arsenal than Bayern, as the Bundesliga club can't be as concrete as they would like as things currently stand. And remember, he's on 200 odd grand a week at Bilbao. If you go to a big club like Bayern Munich, or, you know, Liverpool in theory could be in for him, because I know where you look at Liverpool, yeah, it's obviously going to be dominated by what's happening with Van Dijk, Salah, and obviously, what's the other one? Trent Alexander-Arnold. Then you remove that, whether it's contract nonsense or not, Konate, Diaz, Darwin Núñez, there's all speculation over their futures. You could see Nico Williams playing on the left-hand side. I'm not too sure. So, yeah, he's going to be linked with everyone. But until he's holding a shirt, it is what it is, man. Like, it really is what it is. You're not taking no wage cut as well, which, again, we've got 3 big players that need contract renewals. We're obviously going to bring in some other attackers, or some players, better yet. Nico Williams is on 200 odd grand. It'll be interesting to see what we do with the wages this season, man. And everyone makes mistakes. And I'm not, you know, Kai Havertz is a squad player where we're at, but you've got him on 200 odd grand. If you sign a midfield and a striker, he's not in your starting 11. It's more as a squad guy. Gabriel Jesus, again, if the Gabriel Jesus of the first 6 months never had them injuries and he was our striker, we might not be having certain conversations, but we can only deal with what ifs. He's on big money. It's crazy. And then even if you were to bring in Nico Williams and Isak/Sesko, more so the case with Isak, give the renewals, even someone like Partey that some people would like to stay. I don't think the money is going to stretch that much. Williams is still very high on the list at Bayern, but Max L, head of sport, has to sell players first. They want to sell Coleman, in brackets linked to Tottenham, Newcastle and Saudi Arabia. If they can manage to do this, they can take the money and use it to sign Williams. Gnabry is also on the for sale list, but no club is interested at the moment. Damn. So Bayern have to wait and see if they can make a sell for Koeman. He would probably elevate our attack, man, but there's a lot of unpolished edges I feel would need to be fixed in Nico Williams. Apparently, he will not join Barcelona unless he's guaranteed a starting role. Are you really going to get a guarantee? I still think you could go Barca. Manchester United are interested in Nico Williams and Rafinha. Now, this could all be paper talk. Rafinha's probably gone and become one of the unsellables at Barcelona. Like, when you think of Barcelona presently, their match winners are Rafinha and obviously the young Yalmao. He's probably one of their key players, and shout out to him. So it doesn't surprise me that everybody's linked with these guys. Real Madrid are ready to move for Nico Williams if Vinicius opts for a move to Saudi. I don't think he's going to go Saudi Arabia, but it shows you. And yesterday we saw reports that Real Madrid want to get more Spanish players when we was reading the Zubamendi thing. What country is Nico Williams from? Or at least when things go well, what country is he from? This is basically said that Arsenal's summer transfer plans will hinge on Real Madrid star Vinicius Jr., with the Ballon d'Or runner-up a determining factor in the plan. So again, merry-go-round. He goes to Real Madrid. Nico Williams has been linked he goes to Saudi. Nico Williams has been linked with Real Madrid. So it's creative journalism. Everyone and their nan is going to be interested in half the players us and other clubs are linked with. It would have been nice to get ex-Napoli, now PSG's Caradonna, before PSG got involved, because once they offer them wages, forget about it, people. We're still linked with Cunha. Allegedly, he's been earmarked by Mikel Arteta as an alternative to Nico Williams. But is he a pure winger, or is he someone that can play as a false 9, play as a 10, and play on the left? And obviously, he's been at Atletico Madrid as well. He's been linked with us anyways. We've got Berta in. You can see why these journalists are going to be able to just make baseless claims. I'm not saying it's baseless, but surely that's the reality. New sporting director Andrea Berta has earmarked Cunha, who he worked with at Atletico Madrid, as a viable alternative, I assume. To who? To Nico Williams. We know we've looked at him in January. That was never happening. We all saw him sign a new deal, allegedly with a release clause in the 25-year-old's new contract of 62.5 million. We're not going to pay that. I mean, where you look at, assuming that's true, with Cunha, with the Garcia lad, with Zubamendi, with Nico Williams, with Benjamin Sesko, what's the one thing these five have, based on what we read? They've all got release clauses. Obviously, if they've got a release clause and the player wants to sign, you can activate it. Bob's your uncle, a bit like with Partey. But I think if this is the case, the club are looking at that and saying, yo, they're going to call up Wolves or call up Sociedad or Leipzig or whatever the clubs that these players play for and say, listen, yo, we know he's got, in Cunha's case, a 62.5 million release clause, or Zubamendi's 50 odd. We know that's what you want. Hear what we're saying. We'll give you 53 if you allow us to stretch it over a bit more longer period of time, because there's a lot to do. For all, as much as they talk about war chest, and I know Arsenal's finances seem to be good, we're not going to do the City thing. I personally think we're going to go for I think we'll try for Isaac, but I think it's more realistic to make our budget stretch. We're going to go get a left back. I don't know who that's going to be. We're going to get Sesko for whatever. We're going to try and get Zubamendi for whatever. And then we're going to try and stretch things. And then obviously you can caveat that with potential outgoings. And to be honest with you, I'll rate Berta very highly if you're able to flog Fabio Vieira if he's not going to be reintegrated. Like Fabio Vieira, Lokonga, these kind of brothers, Kivior, Zini, Trossard. I don't expect you to do everything, but this is what I'm looking for. I'm having Cunha as part of the squad. I just don't think we're doing that. Arsenal have not won the league since 2004. Apparently, this is saying how much Kroenkes have spent. Do you know what? The money has been spent. I think it's Kroenke out for life, because I think if we had an owner that wanted to win stuff like you're seeing with Newcastle, it's great. But I think it's lazy to just keep blaming them. I know they ain't put their own money in, but I don't think they're the reason as to why we've always failed. And of course, I'm being a bit lazy, but we've spent money, bro. Definitely since Mikel Arteta's come in, peas has been spent, bro. I could be wrong. Arteta joined in 2019, so I don't know if it would fall under the 2019 or 2020 season. But look at that. We're spending peas, bro. Now, obviously, there's inflation and the way the market's gone. But yeah, we need to earn a lot more money, because we've earned about 654.29 mil through player sales. Now, obviously, a club like Arsenal, or clubs that are going to win, you're going to spend more than you make. But I feel we could do a better job in selling players that are in our first team and being a bit more proactive in that. Sometimes selling players, I go back to Ainsley Maitland-Niles, where their names kind of ringing bells. Like Wolves and Everton were onto him. There was 30 million shouts. Then he left for free. Can we get better at that? Can we get better at selling the Haaland targets? Can we get better at selling the cast-offs? Now, whether that's how we put the wages we put them on or whatever, we need to get better at that. So it is what it is. Arsenal's net spend under the Kroenkes is 917.21 million. Damn. And we obviously broke our transfer record with Declan Rice. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is our most expensive sell. And then Alexis Sanchez. That swap deal was dead. Cesc Fabregas is still our third most expensive sell. Smith Rowe is up there as well. So again, historically as a club, we ain't been good at selling, in it. At least definitely not in this period. At the obviously early Emirates era or under Wenger, we would always have, we was doing what, to a degree, what people praise Brentford and Brighton and all of these kind of clubs for. We got rid of Anelka, Henry came in. You know, Van Persie came out of nowhere. Adebayor came out of nowhere. Now, the landscape's changed for obvious reasons, but you lot are smart enough to know we need to get back at that. We're still linked with Fiorentina's Moise Kean. Now, it's easy to link Arsenal or any team that's in need for a striker. Like, if one of these lot employed me, bro, I swear I'll get them bare engagements. You could link Liverpool with bare strikers because Darwin Núñez is linked with moves away. United need a forward owing to Højlund's struggles, and it's very interesting the way the media is panning Højlund's doing Højlund doing Ronaldo's celebration against Cristiano Ronaldo versus Luis Skelly's. But they need a striker. Liverpool need a striker. Spurs a bit different, but you can make a case there. Arsenal, you can make a case. Everyone's going to get linked with the same guys. Now, my point of saying that is to say this. It's easy to link us with Moise Kean. He's having a great season at Fiorentina, a bit like Ruttigi at Atalanta. They're putting the balls in the back of the net for fun. And I guess there's only so many times you can keep telling us Sesko, Isaac, etc. You have to freshen things up. How long before we're linked with Ivan Toney and Osimhen? In fact, we've been linked with Osimhen. Check out the video I did yesterday for that. Again, Kean flopped in England, but He went to Fiorentina. He's doing his thing. He's got 15 goals, people, in Serie A, making him the second top goal scorer in Italy. And he's got 20 goals in 34 games in all comps, people. Allegedly, Arsenal, Newcastle, Tottenham Hotspurs, and West Ham United are all interested. And he has a release clause of 52 million euros, which is about what, 46, 47, 48, 49 million pounds. I don't know. I don't buy this, if I'm honest with you. But it wouldn't naturally. I'm sure we've scouted him. Like, it's within our remit to watch every striker of various degrees, just like every position in it. So yeah, Ben Jacobs said Arsenal like Isak. He's the dream target, the number one target, but all of us have number one things we'd like in the world and that are very unlikely to happen. Is Isak genuinely available? Berta will get a quick read on that. If he is, he becomes Arsenal's top choice. If he isn't available, I'd be relatively confident in saying Arsenal will make a significant play on Sesko. He's sold on the project. Sesko to Arsenal has a very high percentage chance, but they won't pull the trigger until they know the Isak question. We're not getting Isak. I want to be wrong, but that just tells me, you know what? We're going to see if Isak does want to leave, even though I've said the many reasons as to why I don't think he's going to leave. If there's a chance, we'll go over that. And we know Sesko's probably waiting to hear from a number of clubs, including us. We'll circle back over there. So Isak would be the impossible dream. Sesko's the realistic one. Welcome to Arsenal, Sesko. Such is life. He probably goes somewhere else. We never bid for Isak. And there's probably some striker. Now, speaking for myself, people, we can have concerns about Isak's injury record, which is something I said. We can have concerns about if Sesko's good enough and this one's good enough and that one. And we can still talk about that. But for me, I'm past that now. Just get the player in and we can criticize and praise and have concerns and all of that. What we need is a striker. I don't want to hear about market opportunity, powder dry, all of these things that's been peddled out for the last 2 years. It cannot help us. Merino is up front. Big up to him. He's trying his best. Merino is up front going into the Real Madrid game. Come on. I would still feel kind of the same way I feel against Real Madrid as I feel now. But if we had a striker, if we had a fit Saka, if we had greater depth and we improved certain things tactically, I'd have a lot more optimism, man. But that's that, people. Apparently, Arsenal have made a £58.5 million bid for Bruno Gomares, but Newcastle are not interested in selling. The good news is that you've probably got more of a chance of signing Gomares than you have for Isak. The bad news is I think everyone doesn't expect us to get Gomares. I do think Newcastle are more likely to sell him if push comes to shove, but they've got a great project. Why on God's green earth would you make that happen? It's just not going to happen, innit? And I look at, it's easy for me to say, but you've got to go and get Isak when he's at Sociedad or Bruno Gomares. I remember making videos. We was all waffling about Bruno Gomares when he was in Brazil, let alone Lyon. So if we're not going to buy, rightly or wrongly, if we're not going to put 100, 120, whatever have you for Isak, whatever Gomares would have, you know, whatever Brighton wanted for Caicedo when we was onto him, then we have to try and get these guys that into the next 2 years from the point people are going to be waffling about them. We can't sit on our hands, man. We really need to have a good market. David Ornstein a few days ago said there's currently no understanding that Arsenal would like to sign Gomares. Clearly a player everyone admires, but it doesn't make sense, man. Merino came off the bench in the final 10 minutes and scored a last gasp equalizer for Spain in their 2-2 draw with the Netherlands. Horrible goalkeeping, but he was in the right place at the right time. You just keep scoring, my guy. Just keep putting the ball in the back of the net. Anyone having Bayern Munich's Paulinho? Apparently, he has no intention of leaving Bayern despite a disappointing first season, people. Is there any other updated news? Florian Wirtz would reject a move to Manchester City this summer in favour of Bayern Munich. Come join Arsenal. Mesut Ozil, chat to him, man. It's easy to play at City, man. Can you do the business where you're playing with Kai Havertz and Marino? Can you do it on a cold night at the Emirates? Can you do it on a sunny day? Can you take Odegaard's place? I know we ain't getting Wirtz, but I'd love to be in them kind of conversations, man. You know me, I'm a big fan of Odegaard, but if we were to get that, Odegaard, I'm not saying strip you of the captaincy, but you'd have a fight to play. And with Wirtz, you could play off the left. Bro, Wirtz is lit, man. Real Madrid are preferred to sell Alaba. Barcelona failed to sign my man, Trent. Nottingham Forest, we have heard, are aiming to win the race to sign Gyökeres and have made contact with the Sporting striker. City are buying another keeper. He used to be at FM1, the kid Sivley. I can't say his name, but he's rubbish, man. They're going to be in big problems. Long may it continue. I mean, Chelsea recruitment stuff. Not that you'd be watching my live stream, but if you are, I'm jealous. He's better than Raya signing, bro. Manchester United are ready to pay 33.5 million to sign Antoine Semenyo ahead of Chelsea and Spurs. Apparently, Bournemouth want 42 million for the winger. What are we saying here? Would you do that? I'm not going to lie. I know he's not the same position, and regardless of what we do up front, I'm saying we need to ask questions for Mbeumo. He's got a deal until 2026, allegedly with an option of another year. I'm saying bringing in Buemo as well, man. A little cheap addition. Arsenal are reportedly joined by Manchester United in the race to sign Juventus' attacking midfielder Kenan Yildiz. I don't know, man. It seems like Juventus need to raise up funds. It seems like they're linked with Ademola Lookman and Osimhen. Ironically, smash the like button, people. So come on, man, smash the like button. Big up the 51 of you who have hit the like button, but a couple of you are violating. So I'm not sure to read this. And this Spanish outlet, I'm not going to even attempt to say their name, but you just saw their Bruno Gomares links. They don't seem the more credible. It's just like they smoke and do magic mushrooms and just make up links. So we'll have to see. And I can't see us. Very talented lad. Probably unlucky that Arda Güler's the golden boy of Turkish football, but 90 million euros, that is a myth, man. I'm more than welcoming him at the club, but myth. But he's linked with Arsenal, Man United, and Liverpool have been name dropped there, as you can see. Speaking of Liverpool and Arsenal, allegedly Arsenal are interested in a summer deal for Luis Diaz, with sources telling Team Talk that the Gunners are monitoring the Liverpool forward as a possible summer transfer option. Yeah, right. Yeah, bloody right, man. It'll be interesting because, as we said, Trent, Van Dijk, Salah, don't know what's going on with their futures. I don't think the manager rates Darwin Núñez. He could stay because of people leaving. He could go. Luis Diaz seems to be one that was linked with City, linked with Barca, seems to be one that frustrates Liverpool fans. We need attacking options. And at least it's a new one. I can't see that, man. It's absolute bullshit, if I'm completely honest. 13 goals and 5 assists in 42 games. It's not exactly amazing, but it's better than anyone on the left-hand side for us. Allegedly, sources have told Team Talk, and again, there is no way of fact-checking this. It's the language. Nobody knows your sources. Your sources could all be capped, but there's no way of finding this. So just to humor you lot, sources have told Team Talk that Arsenal have been impressed with Diaz and are interested in signing the winger from the Premier League rivals Liverpool in the summer transfer window. As Team Talk has previously reported, the Gunners are set for a huge transfer window and are determined to sign multiple forwards and bolster their attacking units. Multiple forwards or two? With the asterisks of there might be a little youngster that comes in and whatnot. As Karma said, smash the like button. Big up the mods and the members, man. We're going to get into it, man. Fabrizio just tweeted about Calafiori. But you see the thing with, we'll get back in, let me find it. But you see the thing with Romano. He's going to tweet like, if Calafiori joined Arsenal right now, he's going to say, Calafiori signed this deal. Calafiori's gone to the toilet at London Coley. He's just bare engagement, mind games. What's he said? Well, Ricardo Calafiori leaves Italy camp with immediate effect after knee injury suffered yesterday. Italy staff suggest Calafiori suffered knee collateral injury between grade 1 or 2, but final assessment will be made by Arsenal staff. So you're out for the next 1 to 2 to 3 weeks, man. Ironically, you would have been facing each other. Show must go on, man. But yeah, we've been linked with Diaz. I think everybody knows that this is cap, people. Arsenal have an extensive list. Team Talk has learned that Diaz is on it. While it's understood that the former Porto man is not Arsenal's top choice, the Gunners are monitoring the situation. Arsenal are not at the front of the queue for Diaz, but there's a possibility that they could move for him should they miss out on other targets and see the deal as a good opportunity. The chance to bring in an experienced Premier League player who has been playing for a top team might be too good to turn down. But and apparently we're not the only ones. Atletico, Barcelona, AC Milan, Saudi Pro League clubs are said to be looking. Arsenal are still being linked with Isaac. This is saying we're putting a take it or leave it offer, people. They claim the bid is worth a take it or leave it of 120 million euros, which equates to 101 million for Isaac, a British record fee for a striker after the Newcastle striker emerged as the Gunners' top target for the upcoming transfer window. They claim the massive offer reflects the London club's determination to secure the striker's services, though admit that a deal won't be easy. The report continues, also claims that Arteta is desperate to add Isaac to his attacking mix, believing he will bring mobility, power, and goal-scoring power to a team that, while creating plenty of chances, has lacked impact in the penalty area. Do we really create many chances? I know statistically we probably do, but come on, you looking with your eyes. Come on, man. Let's not lie to ourselves, Arsenal fans. Yeah, man. Apparently, Ben Jacobs has said we're set to announce the Well, yeah, the recruitment of Andrea Berta this week. There are ongoing talks to extend Gabriel Magalhaes' contract, which expires in 2027. Those will now be picked up with Berta. My expectation with Berta is that Arsenal will make that official either this week or certainly during the international break. He's already signed, so make it official, man. Again, we're trying to hold on to Max Dolman. David Ornstein has said, I guess it's down to Arsenal to do enough to convince him. And obviously, we might not know if they succeeded in that until the late 2025 or early 26. Given he has come through there and is an Arsenal fan, they appear to be in a strong position. But considering most big clubs would love to sign him, Arsenal need to prove their pathways and plans are for him. I mean, if he was old enough, you probably would have been on the bench. You've gone to Dubai, you train with the first team, you see what Lewis Skelly and Nwaneri are doing, you see in the Saka's progression. I don't think you've got anything to worry about. I love Max Dolman. I think you're a quality player. I've actually, spoiler alert, people, make sure your notification bells are on because I've actually done a video with a former coach of Max Dolman's who's worked with him, Lewis Skelly and all of them. That will come out this week and we spoke about Dolman. So, yeah, I love the guy. I think he's quality. Probably think he's the best talent that's come out in the last few years. Yes, with the three names I've said there. But at the end of the day, I've seen Thierry Henry leave. I don't really give a monkeys. If you want to go, you want to go in it. We're still linked with Pablo Barrios. Apparently, Berta wants him, but Zubamendi remains the top target. I'm not too sure I believe in any of this. Obviously, is that, you know, he's Spanish, which obviously Arteta is, and Berta worked in Spain despite being Italian. It was at his former club. I don't really believe this. We do know Partey and Jorginho's deals are running out. Jorginho likely to go back to Brazil. I guess all options on the table with Partey. Barrios a good player, but can't see it happening. Allegedly, we've got a broad agreement with Zubamendi on wages and personal terms and all of that. Broad agreement is very different to the man holding an Arsenal shirt, pictured at London Coley, or seeing what you've seen with Chelsea this week. I know it's very different, but they've announced 2 signings from Sporting Lisbon. So, yeah, I don't really want to factor Zubamendi into too much. Even more nonsense probably than the Diaz stuff is Harry Kane. Christian Falk has revealed the truth about rumours that Man United and Arsenal are looking to sign Harry Kane. Not true. Arsenal United are preparing to activate Kane's release clause this summer. Kane's 100 million euros release clause, previously ready to be activated in the prior winter, is no longer an option for clubs ahead of the summer. If an interested suitor wants to sign him, they have to wait to trigger his next release clause of 80 million, which activates in the next winter window. And yeah, we've been linked with Hugo Ekitike, who apparently will take 70 million euros to grab him. Sesko links won't go away. Arsenal is heavily linked with Sesko. Also, from our view at Leipzig, they know it's very realistic that he's going to leave the club in the summer. They would like to talk with 70 million euros on the table. Frankfurt are demanding 80 million euros for Hugo Ekitike. So if someone is willing to pay this price, they can sign him. I think these two players will be in the Premier League this summer. But the question is which club. Newcastle search for a new winger, new striker, apologies. While Man United are currently searching, we don't know yet if Isaac to Liverpool works. So there are 3 clubs in the mix with 2 prominent Bundesliga strikers on the table ahead of the next summer window. Would you lot rather Hugo Ekitike or Benjamin Sesko, people? Let me know your thoughts. Apparently, Arsenal target from Bologna. Bologna, you've sold us a couple dodgy motors. Don't know if we should go there again. Apparently, Santiago Castro, who's actually been called up into the Italian national team, has said yes to Inter Milan. He's one of allegedly the breakout stars in Serie A, has 10 goals for Bologna across all comps and 7 assists so far. As I just said, the 20-year-old has received his first Argentina national team call-up, and apparently he wants to join them. He's been compared to Lautaro Martinez, and it will take 40 million. So we'll have to see how that develops. We're still linked with Sane. Arsenal are ready to offer Sane a contract, but insist that the Bayern Munich star must lower his wage demands. Although Sane has been far from a flop, he has never managed to consistently perform to the level that he's capable of. And he's obviously had injury issues. Now, I will always believe in someone, but if these are said about a 29-year-old who is Premier League proven, who has worked with Mikel Arteta, who has won almost everything there is to offer and played at the highest level, does it make sense signing a 29-year-old who would indirectly take a wage cut but be one of the top earners at this football club and would have to immediately impact stuff? I'm not going to say no if we find ourselves in that little Raheem Sterling situation next summer, but I'm not on it. I just think this is paper talk. He's obviously got history with Mikel Arteta. We need wingers. His contract's running out. I just think that one there is floated. Arsenal have been monitoring the situation allegedly with a watchful gaze, as they have a long-standing interest in the German. Football Transfers exclusively reported last summer that Sane was one of the names under consideration in North London should they fail to land their top targets. Arteta has never made a secret of the fact that he has an excellent relationship with Sane from their shared City days. I know it's not the same, but Dons were saying all of that with Raheem Sterling. So, yeah, forget all of that, man. So we've gone over the Calafiori stuff, gone over several transfer stuff. No one don't care what William Gallas has to say about my football club. Change this to the last hour. What's going on there? Big up the Arsenal ladies. They will be playing Liverpool. Has it officially been confirmed? I thought Mikel Arteta at the press conference. So nothing's been said officially on Arsenal.com regarding Calafiori. But yeah, man, the Italian FA confirmed Calafiori suffered an injury to his left knee against Germany and is therefore returning to his club, Arsenal. He's already on his way. Calafiori, who underwent tests late this morning after sustaining an injury to his left knee during yesterday's match against Germany, has been deemed unavailable for Sunday's second leg and will return to the club. Hopefully, this is just a precaution. Several sources in Italy claim that Calafiori's latest injury will force him to be sidelined for 2 to 3 weeks. All right, man, it's still frustrating, but it could have been a bigger issue. Calafiori is another bad signing, unfortunately, like the player, but we know how it's going to go, too injury prone. I hope he can shake this, innit, but it's not going to bang. Once again, we're still linked with Cunha. What's this? Newcastle and Liverpool are also interested in Cunha. So we'll have to watch that, man. We'll have to watch that. I mean, paper talk, I'm more than happy to speak about it with you lot, but it's all dead, really. Calafiori is worrying me. He looks like he's copying Tomiyasu. At this point, I like Calafiori, but once you start getting into the Zinnies, the Tierney's, the Tomiyasus, I expect you to continuously get injured. Now, I hope that's not the case. DG, did you see the Panama players celebrate with Omri when they scored a late winner in America? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And that shows he's got the street, man. I saw our family photos. You might just be my uncle, you know. Nah, G, I don't know what's going on there. I am not related to you, my brother. I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know. I could be a stepdad if you get me. If you got paying sisters and that respectfully, then yeah, we can be family. You got nice cousins in that. We can indirectly be family. But brother, allow me, bro. Allow me. One love for you lot telling me initially the Calafiori news came out. I like Calafiori, but I'd sell him to Madrid where the pace of the league is a little slow. Will suit him. Madrid are not buying him. What's going on, lads? Just got here and seen the Cala news. Yep. Hato was horrible, man. But a 19-year-old, yeah. And he's 19. We need guys now. I hear that. Every time I watch Hato, the guy drops a stink. I'm kind of having second thoughts, man. He looks young and naive. Bring me Kirkes. I think Liverpool should get both. I think you groom Hato into being that long-term defender and rotationary stuff. But in terms of right now mode, I don't know if you'll necessarily sell Robertson or you're now the backup. Kirkes is the guy, innit? I agree. Hato had a stinker, but my mate who supports Ajax tells me he's even better than Timber as a talent, but I haven't seen it yet. I hear it, man. But all that talent stuff, man used to say Quaresma's more talented than Ronaldo. We'll have to see, man, how it correlates. Bring him, man. Look at his injury record before he joined Arsenal. It's horrendous. It is, man. News dropped on Cala. They're saying 2-3 weeks out. I don't want Nico Williams. I don't rate him. Besides, he would demand high wages. Big up my guy, Igal Talks Football. Deluded the transfer news. Sorry, the transfer window opens. Transfer window opens every international break. The news spills out. Just gives us some talking points. Another left back for the treatment room. Hey, big up my guy Aaron Talks Arsenal. Definitely have to run a show back next week, man. Make sure you subscribe to his platform, man. Real good gooner. You know, it's about time we shed the light on those who actually know what they're talking about. Other than Rice and Havertz, our first team wasn't assembled for ridiculous fees, but it all adds up. Calafiori out for 2 to 3 weeks automatically implies he's out for both Madrid ties, as the players have to be slowly integrated to avoid aggravating the injury. It's peak, man. We're setting up my stream up, or I've been here sooner, man. I love it when the transfer stats are on screen like that, bro. People listen better when they can see. My guy. We are going to the Bernabeu with a 15-man squad. This gross negligence from the manager and owners, waving the white flag before kicking the ball. As Vig said, 117 in the chat, only 42 likes. Smash the like button. You can't blame the Cronkies for not knowing football, but you can definitely blame them for not bringing the right guys to run the club to make money and compete/win all trophies available. Facts. Big up Hendo, Luna. Facts. We love Verts, man, but if it was up to, I dream of a world where Arsenal could be in these conversations, like regardless of what Newcastle want for Isaac, we're going to get in that. Verts, Musiala, these guys. I dream of it, but you need to get Verts when he's at Cologne or his first breakout season. Like it feels like we need to be that club that gets these guys before they end up being spoken about how we all are, man. Linked with all of Paul's front three. It's crazy, bro. I just came back from getting my braids done, so yeah. I hear it. I can't wait to watch England. Thomas Tuchel, I'm just excited to see what he'll do, even though I'm missing Arsenal. I'm only watching today to see Lewis Skelly make his debut. If I'm honest, I don't think he'll make his debut against Albania. I think the Latvia one is the chance because I think Ramsdale, Morgan, Gibbs White, and there's a next player. They're not in the squad, so I think Tuchel will more play a stronger lineup today. Maybe think he comes off the bench, more experimental, I think on Tuesday or Monday or something. I could be wrong. But I hope Lewis Skelly starts, let alone makes his debut. I genuinely think we sign a winger, striker, a backup goalie, and a defender. Yes, another defender. I mean, I was saying I think we need a defender anyways. Low grade at least. I think it could have been like 6 weeks. The thing is, I fully expect us to get another player coming back injured from the international break. It's been a recurring theme. Cut ties with Bologna. Calafiori is so unlucky. You slip and get injured like that. Don't normally happen. More broken merchandise from Bologna. Shout out, Brun Breaker, man. Smash the likes. I ain't got time for Gallas, bro. Hear me out, but I think Kluivert would be a perfect signing for us. Can play on the left and centrally, and he's actually a very similar profile to Trossard. I must admit, I wondered, Kluivert, if you really was, the son of the proper Kluivert, innit? But you're doing well at Bournemouth. It's hard not to look at Bournemouth and think, well, you know what? Forget the players. Areola, could you do a job here? Much less Semenyo, Kluivert. Kirkes is the one I think's 100% gone. Even the Haysen, I can't say his name. He just made his debut for Spain. Even the other one, man. What's his name? I'm sure he plays for Ukraine. Like, there's a couple of. I don't think they're going to lose them all, but Bournemouth got a lot of players that could get picked up. Big up Marino for scoring for Spain. Hopefully he continues that. Are you ready for a new left back at the club in the summer? I'm on that. Why don't we ever make the Kluivert transfers at 10 million instead of 50? All our left backs are injury prone. MLS. It's crazy, isn't it? And I would love to speak to the physios, Mikel Arteta, the recruitment staff, the analytical department. I'd love to know why, specifically with Tomiyasu and Calafiori. Now, it could be a coincidence, and I'm sure, they didn't predict this, but is there something? Is the previous injuries irrelevant? And it's just the fact that he's playing in the Prem, the intensity and all of that. I might be lazy, but I think it's the boots, bro. Like playing for Arsenal and seeing it for Italy, bro, you keep slipping. And it seems you're doing this weird slipping thing, locking your ankle. Locking your ankle, your knees getting locked is peak. It's just annoying, man. Like, it is in the script. You knew where the international break's concerned, somebody was going to come back. Yeah, Zabari, decent. Tavernier, good player, but not for me, man. I'm on it, DG. Need to see the cameras pan to his dad at the Emirates for the culture. Oh, mate. Isaac stays or he joins Liverpool or Barca. Still not sure about Sesko. Think he'll be huge under pressure. As I said on Dan Potts' stream, I don't want to be a hypocrite. Of course, I'm. The club has enticed us with this win now mode stuff, innit? Like, we've been so close to the Prem, got through for the second year in a row in the latter stage of the champs. I kind of want players that from the moment they sign for this football club, they're sick. We're going to go and do our thing and we're lit. But I don't think we're going to go and get them Isaacs and whatnot. And I'm a hypocrite because if Nico Williams, I like him. I don't think I'm 100% convinced. The same goes with Sesko. I think we could do a lot better, clearly, and we could do a lot worse. And I can't say I'm a hypocrite because I said if you can't get the first choice targets, you need to pivot. You can't not bring anyone in, which the club would have done. But I can't say I'm looking at Nico Williams and Sesko and thinking, like, we're going to go do things. Maybe they come and in 2 years from now, I look back because I do think we need to, if we're not going to go and spend the mad money on Wirtz and Isaac and these guys, we need to find these guys before they get there. Like, you look at Bournemouth, we've been talking about Bournemouth. We all know about Brighton. We all know about Brentford. I don't know any Brentford fans. They might say something different. But I haven't heard any talk about did they miss Ivan Toney. There might be next season and they face a fight to hold on to Wiesel and Mbeumo. But you see what happens when you scout well and you look after the squad. You can cope with departures or injuries. Hendon Gooner, big up yourself, man. So, yeah, man, it is what it is, man. Deluded, you said about hoping Calafiori shakes off the injuries. When was the last player you can remember heavily injury-prone that shook them off? That's why I say I'm living in hope. I'm more of the, let's just bring in other players now, man. It's an L. It's an L. I don't know. I couldn't tell you his peak. Like, it feels like we're just going to have to live with that or wrap my man in cotton wool. Sack the person/sins who is responsible for doing individual background checks. Hi, DG. Kenan Yildiz is a baller. I take him over Nico Williams. Would love to see Morgan Gibbs White join us and Odegaard gets benched. Gabriel Magalhaes must be our captain. I'd also take Osimhen. I think Osimhen's paper talks. I don't think we're bidding 90 odd million for Kenan Yildiz, if I'm honest. Any players from Fulham you would take, I think they would be happy to do business with us. Smith Rowe. Fulham. Smith Rowe. If we lived in a world where we was going to sign a top forward and we needed one for the squad, then I wouldn't be against a Jonathan David and Munoz. You know what? Antonio Robertson, on the topic of left backs, she wouldn't be the worst. I think that's it, man. If I had to rate teams, it'd be the Brightons, the Brentfords. It's mad worrying, man. He had a serious injury at Basel, and it seems like it hasn't gone away, man. And the club had to have known about his injury issues. Do not curse MLS. Technically, he's a midfielder, so no left back curse. I hear it, man. It's never boring being an Arsenal fan, innit? It's actually never boring, man. Do we have a buyback for Smith Rowe? Nope. It is what it is. I dreamed of a world where, you know, in an ideal world, we've got Saka, Nwaneri, Nelson actually being half decent, Lewis Skelly. My dream, I always tell you, lot, is a starting 11, all from Hale End. Now, that's never going to happen, but that shows you how much I want to see these academy players come through, man. It's not going to happen, man. I wish Smith Rowe stayed. I think Arsenal wanted to keep Smith Rowe, or specifically, I think Arteta actually wanted him to. I think we was made an offer, which the club said, you know what, we need to get money in, it's cool. I genuinely think Smith Rowe walked into the gaffer's office and said, you know what, the last 12, 15, 18 months, I've been fit. You're not fucking with me. As much as I love Arsenal and this is a dream, I need to put on my grown man pants now and go and get first team elsewhere, and which has happened, man. Pick him up. And even I'm not against Eddie and Nketiah leaving, Smith Rowe leaving, Reece Nelson going out on loan. Who else is there? Emil Smith Rowe. It was a case of the numbers. Like, this was, I'm not going to, because fans, we do like to sit here and act like we know it all in it, but it was predictable. We all knew there's going to be bare injuries. We knew it. We all knew it. MLS and Timber got tree trunk bottoms, pause. That is the point. VAR might have to look at that. But hey, I agree with what you said about Odegaard still having some effects from the ankle knock. Look at his goals. None of this pillow shot nonsense. I do think he's still carrying a knock, but at the same time, yeah, for me, it's a dead excuse now because you're playing week in, week out. I still think you're carrying that, but you're playing week in, week out, so you are fit. And I very much doubt at this point in the season now, there's very few players at our club and all over the world that are not playing with some degree of knock, man. It's inevitable, bro. You want to be proven wrong, but it's inevitable. We've got more games with less players. We knew the usual suspects were going to get injured. And we knew at some point, even based on the last few years, that Ben White would face a lengthy layout, that Saka would face a lengthy layout, that Odegaard would be missing, that, you know, potentially Kai Havertz and Martinelli, if not them for names, just on the fact that they play week in, week out, that they were going to bust their hamstrings. I don't want to act like I know it all, and I think the club must know this, but at the same time, you didn't do anything about it, man. Smith Rowe was my favorite player. I hated the fact that Arteta sold Smith Rowe and chose Odegaard over Smith Rowe. It's gonna happen. It's peak, man. Defo a yellow card. It's a sin bin. He got injured on international duty. What happened? Seemed like he caught his boots in the grass and did a bit of a breakdance, and he's in trouble, man. My granddad smoked a packet a day. His excuse was Arsenal stress. You know what? I hear him. He might need something stronger than that, though, man. If we sell both Martinelli and Trossard, Reece Nelson could technically be our backup to our new left winger. I think I'd prefer Trossard and Martinelli over Nelson, man. The first player I want Arsenal to sign is Musiala from Bayern and Valverde from Real Madrid. And I agree with you, but then we've got to wake up from these dreams, bro. That is not happening. Weirder things have happened. I hope I'm wrong, but it is what it is. I'm aware I'm supposed to be on Rancy stream in 6 minutes, people. So this has been a fantastic 1 hour and 12 minutes. So I'm going to love and leave you lot. In relation to the Calafiori and the bulk of this live stream, I'll cut up a clip and look after you lot by getting that out. Make sure notification bells are on, man, because you know I hang around like a bad smell. Make sure you're subscribing. Appreciate you lot for hitting the like button, for the members, for the moderators, for your differences of conversation, for those of you that alerted me to Romano's update on Calafiori. Hope you're enjoying your Friday. Peace.
You always just like, I think, like,